We know White Vision's from the West Coast Avengers, where he comes back, and he's not the Vision anymore. He's the Vibrator or Vibration, whatever his name is. Your mom's gonna love it. Hey everybody, welcome to Twin Talk, a video discussion show where twin brothers Chris and Kevin drink and draw while talking about comic books, movies, and all things pop culture. We are your hosts, Chris Hart, Kevin Hart, and today we're going to be talking about Wandavision, Episode 8. Spirit Fingers? Spirit Fingers. Episode 8, titled Previously On, we get a little bit of exposition galore, a little bit of explanation into the show, what we've been seeing, trying to put these puzzle pieces together. And it opens with an origin story for Agatha Harkness back in Salem, Massachusetts of like 1693. She's taking on this like hockey team of witches, but we see how powerful she is. She's taking on her mother too. Her mother's, she's saying that she's tapping into this dark magic. Clearly she's of evil intentions, and clearly she's got some power, man. So it's going to be a crazy showdown in the next episode for sure. I'm just a little confused because like it seems to me in the comics, I'm not too familiar with the character, full transparency, but from what I understand, she's like pretty cool with Wanda and like watches her kids and stuff and helps her, teaches her some magic. She's kind of like sinister looking, but then also kind of comes around and like watches all the MCU's children in the comic books. Yeah. You know, like, so. She's basically like a magical Aunt May. Yeah. So it's like, what's really the problem here? I don't think there's going to be a like a big standoff for the next episode. I still believe that there's going to be, you know, another entity involved or a different sort of conflict, because I don't think that she's the main conflict. I just think that Wanda created this hex, this sphere that she's got going on here. It's not a sphere, it's a hexagon. Therefore the hex. But like, it just seems to me that, you know, she was interested in it because she felt like that magical presence, but I don't see why she would come down there and like start conflict. Unless this is what we're supposed to be seeing from, like you said, another entity. Is there someone else at play here? We've been talking all season long about the rumored Mephisto or Nightmare in the presence of Evan Peters. Last week in that mid-credit scene, he came back with like the Earthworm Jim beanie, and he was like, Snooper's gonna snoop. The thing I noticed was that everyone's eyes were purple except his. So is he controlling everyone? Agatha's powers seem to be like this purple color, but I don't know, man. I just don't know. And going into the next episode, I wanted a different villain, so I'm hoping that we do get someone else. And even with this rumored cameo, this Luke Skywalker cameo, can't wait to see who that is. All I know is that she's definitely evil because she was tapping into the dark magic. And also we see she wants to know how Wanda did this, unless, again, she's being pulled on someone else's strings, you know? Because she's like, I worked for years on this magic about, you know, mind control, changing things, their forms. She's like, how did you do this? How did you do this? She's kind of like jealous of this rookie witch that she thinks she's a witch, but we know from the comics that she's a mutant. But in the MCU, her origins are a little bit different. She's powered, as we see in the episode, by this Hydra experiment with this Space Stone, I believe it was. Whatever the Tesseract was in Avengers. The staff that Loki had. But again, the scepter. Her origins are all over the place in the comics too, her parentage and stuff. Magneto was her father in the comics. They've retconned Wanda's parents like 3 times in the books. Yeah. I wasn't buying it because I've always loved the fact that she's Magneto's daughter. Like, that's pretty cool. And that's an interesting take because you could add so much like family drama dynamics to that, and with writing either in comics or movies, and you take that aspect away, especially with the mutants coming in now. Yeah, exactly. It's like, what's the point? I'm wondering if people are speculating that he might be the cameo too. Is it too soon to bring these people in? But the X-Men, I love that. But oh my god! But even I was like disappointed too because I was hoping, I was like, oh, you know, knowing that Wanda's father is Eric Lenscher, Magneto. Then they go back in time as we see these reruns through her bad trip down memory lane. Her father, I think it was Irina and Oleg. Maximoff in the show, yeah. Some dude, just a bunch of commies. Yeah. His nose needs its own zip code. He's like a Sokovian scalper of a bootleg American sitcoms. So, which we get the origins of the intros to the show. Why everyone was asking, why is this show based on sitcoms? So we kind of see that. That was cool though. I appreciated that he was like just going. He's like the guy that shows up at the laundromat, opens his coat. He's got a copy of like Infinity War, you know. on Laserdisc.
Yeah, he's got the Batman 2022 before it's even released, Korean subtitles.
Yeah, he was like, yo, I got that heat, bro.
I do like that aspect a lot, though, of the whole television concept. I loved it from the beginning, but seeing especially the origins as to why in their childhood, even when they're about to watch these shows, it's kind of like family movie night, which I can appreciate. But there's like a war waging outside, so I like that kind of escape from reality, which we see ties into this whole theme of Wanda denying grief, denying the harsh realities that we've all seen and experienced in our own reality, and we binge Netflix, we binge all these
Escapism.
Exactly.
It's the way to live, man.
Entertainment, man. It takes us away, and I love that they're playing with these ideas in the show with the superhero genre. And we were familiar, briefly, it was kind of just an exposition piece, really, in Age of Ultron, when Wanda and Pietro Maximoff were first introduced to us about Tony Stark when he was a warmonger, that missile landed in their home, destroying their family, and the bomb never went off. But now, seeing this episode, Wanda, as a child, she reaches out, and later we see that she gets these powers from the Space Stone, but why would she reach out as a kid? Even Pietro says, Wanda, don't. So was that just like this vision? Has she always had powers that this stone kind of awoke? Woke up? Awakened?
Yeah. First things first. When because I remembered that exposition in Age of Ultron where he's like, for 2 days we sat and watched Stark bomb in our living room. And I just remember, I was like, okay, they're probably going to tie it in at some point. Maybe not now. They'll probably do it next scene where the bomb goes off and their parents are dead or whatever. Mm-hmm. But with my soundbar on, I got a pretty pristine soundbar from Best Buy. That thing, man, I was sitting alone in my apartment. When that bomb went off, I was like, damn near soiled myself. Bring the wipies because my shorts are brown.
And what a TV too, man. Bomb and all, that thing was still going.
Yeah. It was Sony Trinitron, man. You can't make technology.
They don't make them like they used to.
Yeah, I know that flat screen would have been destroyed, but they got the TVs back in the day were like these humongous things that 5 people had to carry at a time.
They were bombs themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have dropped this thing as a warhead on a country and it would do some damage.
Yeah, like you were saying too. I mean, from the comic books, we know that Wanda's a mutant. I hope they go that route because it does seem like she had some sort of dormant powers or whatever. When that bomb was there, she reaches out to it. Pietro says, don't. Agnes even asks her, was like, oh, did you have a hand in that and stuff, And then we see later on in the next segment, she takes her into this next room where it's the Hydra lab that we saw them in at I forgot, was that Winter Soldier we saw them at the end at?
The end credit scene.
They're like the twins and they're in their cells and stuff. So this takes place there. And we see that Hydra's running experiments on Wanda. They bring in the stone, the scepter from Loki. And the thing it comes to her and then explodes. And I thought it was really cool because you see in her pupil and in the stone, she sees a glimpse of the Scarlet Witch.
That's cool.
Which that was sick. With the I think they're finally gonna give her a comic accurate costume.
Looks
full
like
time starting now.
Yeah.
So I'll be a very happy camper with that. Because I've never really loved the way that they made her look. And if this was Kevin Feige's plan all along, that's pretty cool to me because I felt she was pretty weak coming in, and I was like, what the heck, man, But now they're giving her her full potential and comic accurate suit. It looks like. And at the end of the episode too, we find out that. Agnes says that, you're the Scarlet Witch. I know these powers because...
Chaos magic.
Yeah, you've been, I guess, what was it, prophesied about?
She was a myth or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, she was like, you have these powers. There's only one explanation. You're the Scarlet Witch, which was finally great to hear her name.
Her actual name.
Her actual comic name on live action. So that was cool.
I appreciated because Agatha is asking her this entire time, what, you don't know the fundamentals of, I guess, witchcraft or the mystical arts or whatever? And Wanda's kind of I have no idea. So that's why I'm interested to see what they do with her powers. It's got to be before the stone. Because even in that Hydra lab, they were looking at the footage, and the footage kind of glitched.
Kind of like how the Wandavision has been going. Something happens that she doesn't like, and then it just cuts. It's like a cut scene to whatever she wants it to be. And that's how it happened on their security footage. Was her standing, then the thing explodes and she's just down. They don't even see the explosion.
Which that stone was blue, the Tesseract, right?
And then it turned yellow.
And turned yellow, which is the Vision Stone. Mm-hmm. So I wonder what that's about. I'm intrigued to see how that plays out. Mm-hmm. Because speaking of Vision, we see Hayward's got this maniacal plan this entire time that he wants to weaponize Vision, and we see towards the end that footage that was supposed to be Wanda breaking in, it didn't play out exactly as they described it. I want to see Ultron Unlimited, which we get the White Vision by the end, which I was like, are they going?
End credit scene? That was the end credit scene.
Yeah. But so I'm thinking like, oh, that's cool that they reference White Vision because he's in the comics too. But also I was like, is this how they tie in Ultron Unlimited? Because even White Vision, he's kind of like emotionless. It's not the same Vision that we see. He's even like looking at himself like, what's going on here?
Well, he doesn't have the stone either, right?
That's true, yeah. But he had Wanda's powers, which is based off the stone. So that's how that's right. Yeah. That's how they kind of got him back online. And
it's kind of like their electricity for Frankenstein's monster.
Pretty much, yeah.
They used the chaos magic to waken up the new Vision's body that they put together.
So I'm like wondering, like, is Hayward, what's his end game here? Is he kind of like a Thunderbolt General Ross, where he's kind of just like fighting fire with fire? He's seen the damage that these superheroes can do, and he wants to make a weapon himself. Is he kind of creating the monster that he's trying to avoid? The danger that he's trying to fight is by him trying to make this weapon to protect them going to backfire on him. So I'm real interested to see how this plays out.
Who knows? Maybe that's how they could bring. I really just want to see Ultron again. Like, I didn't love how he was handled in Age of Ultron. I thought he was a little bit too comical. I would like to see him come back a little bit more dark, more like creepy,
emotionless, which is what that end Vision looked like, you know,
and make it more of like a horror movie with Ultron, and like because he doesn't like any form of life, you know, down to a blade of grass. So it's just like you could play around with so much things with that in a superhero genre. You can make a horror movie with the Avengers and have Ultron as the antagonist. And that'd be awesome.
I think we've said in recent episodes that we're theorizing that maybe Ultron will make an appearance in the future MCU with these young Avengers that they're clearly setting up between Kate Bishop as Hawkeye. Cassie Lang, I think, is going to be doing something with Ant-Man in the future.
In Young Avengers, she's Stature, is her name.
Stature, yeah. And even Wiccan and Speed, the boys from the show, Wanda's sons. And so it seems like they're going for this new generation, that they're planting the seeds now, which is going to be cool to look back on, 5, 10, 20 years from now to see how Marvel laid out these plans and how it came to fruition.
I think I said it last episode that we made. I would love to see like a future Young Avengers movie where it's like a post-apocalyptic Terminator world of Ultron ruling, and these young Avengers are kind of like on the run, sort of like X-Men Days of Future Past, but with Ultron and the Avengers, and then have like,
or even that animated movie we were talking about.
Yeah. Heroes of Tomorrow, I think was the name of the movie. Next Avengers, Heroes of Tomorrow, and then have like Tony Stark be like the aged Logan, like almost like a Logan,
like the mentor
archetype from older Wolverine, Just have like that grizzled Tony Stark. He's still using his tech and stuff. We see Hayward has recreated Vision's body, which was an awesome scene, by the way, because there's a lot of West Coast Avengers tie-ins in this episode, a lot of like Easter eggs. There's that one scene where we see Vision's body being like ripped apart.
That was a crazy
on an
scene.
Operating table, and that was so sick. Just seeing like his inside, like his innards, like they're all wires.
That really impacted me, yeah. And it was showing Wanda dealing with death and loss, which I loved. That, the conversation of the first time that she met Vision, where he was kind of like her bodyguard in the Avengers complex. I loved that conversation that they were having, kind of getting to know each other, and him, this android, the synthezoid, learning about love and, learning not to be alone, humor, and just kind of getting these emotions, and her trying to deal with loss, replacing it with like Vision. Vision was kind of like her crutch, her emotional crutch, and we see that without him, she was like, I can't feel you.
She couldn't move on.
She couldn't move on, and he freaking bought her a house. He did the most romantic thing. Yeah. Did the most romantic thing a synthezoid could do to a woman is buy her a house for the future.
I would love to see that conversation with like where the Vision just walks into a bank, gets a mortgage,
takes out a loan.
That would be awesome. Like this, like first of all, where is he getting money from? I mean, I assume the Avengers are on a payroll, but it's just like.
He's on Tony Stark's bank payroll.
Yeah, who knows? But
that's where Wanda creates. That's in Westview. That's where we find where the origins of Westview. We see the characters, kind of like a Wizard of Oz, like a bad Wizard of Oz. These characters that were like, oh, in Westview, you were blah blah blah, you were blah blah blah. And so we see
it's pretty cool though when it did go to black and white, and then you see like she's like watching. What we know now is the first episode of WandaVision. That was pretty cool.
Very cool.
To see like her looking in on that. It's nice seeing too the White Vision appearance in this show. We knew it was going to come eventually. It's cool to see it happening now. We know White Vision's from the West Coast Avengers, Volume 2, Issue 45, where he comes back. And he's not the Vision anymore. He's the Vibrator or Vibration, whatever his name is. Your mom's going to love it. But he comes back as a new name. I forgot. And it lasted a little while. But It'll be cool to see how he eventually goes back to being Vision. If he's going to move out of this show, if Vision's going to make it out of the show alive,
I hope
in
so.
some way, moving forward, it would be cool to see how that plays out, because we know that Wanda did break into Hayward's little lab there with Vision, but she didn't steal the body. She makes the body in her mind in Westview. So I want to know what his intentions are there, and also I feel like this Vision's going to end up, Wandavision's Vision is going to end up sacrificing himself, fighting.
Because technically there's two Visions now.
Yeah, there's two Visions. I think they're 100% going to fight each other in the next episode.
Oh my God.
Which would be so cool, because it would be like a Superman Bizarro thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And that'd be a sick
I didn't even
fight.
think of that.
That'd be so sick, yeah. Like the two of them fighting, like that color contrast is going to be great. The emotional impact of that fight and the stakes would be so sick. So I'm really looking forward to this. We know next week's the finale. I'm still thinking Doctor Strange pulls up. I still want to see Mephisto.
I don't know who the cameo is going to be, man.
I don't even think there is a cameo at this point. I think they're just getting rickrolled at this point by Marvel. It better be good, though, because they've been leading us on, and it couldn't have been Pietro, because that's not a Luke Skywalker level cameo. And Darcy Lewis ain't Luke Skywalker.
We're holding off on Reed Richards. I'm still thinking like it's probably going to be a safe bet like Nick Fury or Doctor Strange, because we know that this is going to tie into the Multiverse of Madness. So who knows, man. But again, I would love a Magneto thing, but whatever I set myself up for, is just going to be disappointed unless they just, like they do that Luke Skywalker moment. They just go full bore and give the audience what they want, which hopefully is Reed Richards. Shouting that out there.
Only two things are really going to make me happy and be that Luke Skywalker type of cameo. It's either going to be, like you said, Reed Richards, John Krasinski being introduced, or Michael Assbender as Magneto. If he shows up as Magneto, I will literally bend my ass. So next week's going to be the telltale of this Luke Skywalker like cameo. So we'll find out.
All I know is that I know these two Visions. I'm glad there's two Visions now, so hopefully one will make it out, because I can't handle a third death of the Vision. I might, have a mental breakdown and create, turn Long Island into a whole, hex Westview.
Eastview.
Westview.
I wumbo, she wumbo, you wumbo.
We didn't get Monica Rambeau or even Pietro, fake Pietro. I still think that there's more to that. There's no way that they built that up just for him to be like...
First things first, if this finale is 30 minutes, I send it back.
It's got to be like at least 2 hours. Come on,
but
man.
like you said, too, like there was no Pietro, like Agnes says, or Monica Rambeau, who definitely has her powers at this point. And I assume she'll go by the name Spectrum. I still think it would be cool if there was two Captain Marvels, but that's just me. But we didn't see her or Pietro, so I'm thinking that there's going to be a huge finale here. And I still think Doctor Strange is going to show up at the end and be like, what the hell's going on here? Comment below, guys. Let us know who you think is going to be this Luke Skywalker level cameo, because that's a pretty high bar to set, especially with The Mandalorian coming off its high.
It's a bold phrase, man.
So, yeah, it's a pretty bold move to say. So let us know who you guys think it is. Comment below.
Stick around next week. We'll be reviewing the final episode and the series as a whole. I'll be drawing Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, from the show. And we want to see your guys' artwork. Send it in to us using the hashtag TwinTalk. You can post it on our Instagram, our social media at twintalkbros, or even send it to our email, twintalkbros@gmail.com. Could be featured on the show next week. Who knows? Anyways, that about wraps up today's episode of Twin Talk. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Comment below to join the discussion. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you next time. Peace!